Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IFX Expo Asia. We have a great day planned for you today. We're going to start it off with the mobile trading panel, moderated by our friend Adil from Forex Magnets, and he'll be taking it over from here. But first, I just wanted to welcome you all to beautiful Macau in the most beautiful hotel, Venetian. I want to take this opportunity to thank Forex Magnets and Conversion Pros for putting this event together so we can all be here. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, for without them, we couldn't have made this happen. So, needless to say, Adil, please take it from here, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us in Macau. It's been a great start to the day. Yeah, we're on the mobile panel. Mobile, as you know, has been a real growing sector in the financial markets, especially in Asia, where mobile has a lot more reach than the internet. So yeah, we're going to be cracking off with the mobile. Hands up, how many people who do not have a mobile phone? Okay, so yeah, we've got a big market for mobile. So let's get started. I'm joined with distinguished guests from the industry. I've got Vinod, Rodolfo, Chris, Stas, and Dennis. They'll be giving you an introduction, and then we'll crack on with the eagerly awaited discussion. Vinod.
How much time do I have?
Go on, 20 seconds. Yeah. Take your time.
Hi, my name is Vinod. I head global sales for a company called Market Simplified. We worked with brokers across asset classes across the globe, many of whom you might actually be trading with. We have close to 1 million mobile traders on our platform. We're running close to $1 billion of transactions off of the mobile every day across all asset classes globally. And what we do basically is ally with brokerages and deploy almost every digital front end. So we do mobile, we do tablets, we do web, we're working on things like internet TV, right? Because as we go along and we discuss, that's where we're seeing customer demand coming from. So that's just a little brief about Market Simplified.
Thank you, Vinod. Rodolfo.
Hi, hello. My name is Rodolfo Festa, Bianchette. I am the CEO and the founder of Reflexo, which is the company which produced Trade Interceptor. Trade Interceptor was awarded the best mobile platform in Forex Magnet last. So we were very happy about that. We really focus on the technology, so we are more focused on giving tools to trader. Our business model is difficult in the sense that it's not clear yet. We have a multi-broker platform, but we also sell to brokers. So we are thinking what to do next. As I said, we were more focalized on give the best mobile technology to traders, and we have reached 250,000 people registered. We have 50,000 which are using the platform very, very actively. We have 3.5 million sessions per month, average 12 minutes. So we saw an expanding and very big demands for mobile and its usage of mobile, which we'll talk more.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Chris.
My name is Chris Nanacone of Fairtrade Technologies. Our core product is a product called Sync, which basically is an MT4 bridge platform that can synchronize with the multitude of platforms from the client side and also can move trade flows to a multiple group of liquidity providers. Of course, the mobile platform is part of our core product deliveries, and we don't have the market penetration like my counterparts here, but we think we are the best mobile platform.
Stas.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Stas Toller. I'm a VP of FX products in DevExperts. DevExperts is a large software, trading software development house based in St. Petersburg, Russia. We are presenting here on this exhibition the DXFX suite, which is a full set of components for FX brokerage automation. And one of the most important parts of the suite is the DX mobile solution, which basically is is a brand new mobile interface for 4 platforms: iPhone, iPad, Android smartphone, and Android tablet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Hello to everybody. My name is Denis Borisovsky. I'm CEO and founder of PFSoft. We are located in Ukraine. We are provider not only mobile solution but complete multi-asset platform. Mostly it's used by biggest banks and average brokerages. By the way, everybody knows where is Ukraine located? Please hand your hands. Okay, for those who didn't know, Ukraine was part of Soviet Union. It's close somewhere between Russia and Bulgaria. So, but the most important what you should know that we have very strong post-Soviet Union mathematical school, and that's why our programmers are one of the best in the world. I believe even our Indian colleagues will confirm this.
Thanks, Dennis. If anybody wants to visit Ukraine, please speak to Dennis. He can arrange a
yes,
tour.
by the way, we put invitation card to this package for everybody. So I would like to invite you, so you will see how we work. And I believe that you will see a lot of interesting things in our company. And why I'm here, because today we have a release of mobile solution, only today. So I think that my experience will be very helpful and most up to date. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's a good welcome from the panelists here. So let's kick in. So mobiles are becoming part of a brokerage and financial markets essence of it. Why is that so? Chris, do you want to start off and tell us a little bit about how mobiles have been becoming very popular in the industry?
Well, the first billion smartphones took about 4 years. Last year, we reached 1 billion of smartphone mobile sales. And the prediction is the next billion will take only 2 more years from today. So I call it the Dellification of going from a PC and the convergence from a PC architecture to what is called now the smartphone architecture that has transitioned quite rapidly in the last 3 years. Going forward, I think since some of the operating systems are quite sophisticated, I see that the next 2 years, the expansion of the usage and the functions and features of using tablets and smartphones is going to be exponentially growing.
And can we touch on the Windows phone? So back in 2004, 2005, there was some mobile apps that were having platforms. Rodolfo, do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, we actually started on the mobile. I don't even remember. It was Windows 5. Yeah, Windows 5, and it was actually quite good. The problem was that actually they were the leader at that time, but they just completely missed the point. So when the iPhone came out, I mean, when Steve Jobs had the idea to transform a mobile phone really into a computer and especially create the store, BlackBerry said, haha, Steve Jobs is trying to do a computer with an iPhone, he will never succeed. So when the iPhone came out, the whole things completely changed. First, not very much in terms of functionality at the beginning, even though it was much better and still much better from a user viewpoint. I'm talking from a technology viewpoint, because with Windows 5 we already had indicator, we already had the Windows, it was already quite strong. But then Windows changed, became 6, and did not support 5, then became 6.5, then became 7, and now it's 8. And so they lost it. And what really changed, and then Android came and do the same, it was the store. So iTunes completely changed the perception how you actually download apps, and iPhone create the apps market, which is what is driving now the whole market, especially from a broker viewpoint, because when you go into the iTunes, you have like position where you are in the iTunes. So if you go into iPosition, you have a lot of download. So from my viewpoint, Windows was in a predominant position, but it didn't see it coming, and they lost it. They completely lost it.
Perfect. Stas, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, speaking about Windows, we'll see how it goes with Windows 8, of course. It's not getting too much of market share yet, but we'll see how it goes this year. The forecasts are quite promising for Microsoft. Well, speaking about the reasons why the mobile is getting more and more traction in all industries, including the trading, of course, is very simple. When you asked who doesn't have a mobile phone, in here, no one raised their hands, quite opposed to when Dennis asked where Ukraine is, not that many people raised their hands. So it basically is one of the drivers. When you, as a service provider, being that, you know, FX brokerage house, or being, you know, a TV communication company, whatever, there is a way for you to provide content, to provide service to your clients, because you're 100% sure that they do have a device all the time with them, even when they sleep. It's somewhere, you know, under the pillow, right next to them. So that's another reason. And of course, the smartphone and tablet market is becoming, the devices are becoming more and more powerful and provide more and more features, and that allows us, technology providers, to create much more sophisticated and useful applications for the end users, for traders.
Vinod, talk to us about some of the advantages with mobile for traders and trading firms.
I'm just going to take a little step back to kind of conclude the previous discussion. One of the things we need to note, and Chris did point that out, is there are two trends at play here, right? When it comes to how important mobile phones are. The question is, how many of your users have those mobile phones, right? The first trend, obviously, is that almost everybody is migrating to a smartphone today. There are very few people with basic phones. The other technological trend is that your whole desktop environment is disappearing. What Windows 8 wants to do is to take that distinction between desktop, tablet, and mobile and just make it one, right? They might not succeed, but the point is that's the direction, right? Someone else might come and do it better. So you've got mobile phones getting more and more popular, and you've got the disappearance of that desktop environment, which means your definition of mobile is no longer that little 4-inch form factor device. It's your tablets, it's your larger tablets. I mean, to my mind, even internet TV is mobile because it's like a device that can carry an application on it, right? So the convergence of these two trends, that is the growth of smartphones and almost everything becoming a mobile container, causes brokerages to invest in that space. We see that most brokerages in margin instruments do between 10 to 20% of their transactions off of the mobile. So that's a huge percentage. You don't ignore 20% of your business. I even know of some people in spread betting who do 30% and upwards of their trading on the mobile, right? The faster the trade cycle, the more chance that he'll do it on the mobile. So with such a large percentage of your customers trading off of these devices, I mean, with a broader definition of mobile, I think it's as good as saying 30% of your audience wants a certain choice to be made. Now, how well you do it and how much you invest in it will simply determine how much revenue you make off of that audience, basically.
Some of the advantages, Dennis, of using the mobile phones.
I remember the time when we was first start mobile development, about 8 years ago. It was Java Micro Edition and Pocket PC, Compact Framework.net. And at this time, mobile, I would say, was only marketing point for brokers. So if you have marketing, it was good for broker. But right now, we see that it becomes really a big source of increasing volumes for brokers. That's why we're starting development for specifically for iPhone and Android. And why it happens? Because we have smartphones right now. And we should say big thanks to Steve Jobs. I think he changed the market. And in our industry, we're just following this trend. Our task is to provide applications which will increase volumes to brokers, which we are doing well right now. I think there are a lot of mobile devices, mobile applications for trading. And, right now, it's not only the case of marketing, and it's not enough just to have mobile application in brokerage. I believe that it's important to have mobile application with high quality, because there are a lot of right now applications. And, it's important not only to have it, but to have it useful and functional. It's a big challenge to have it. In this case, it will increase volumes to brokers, as well as other trends like social trading, but our company is not sure about this trend yet, but for mobile, we are definitely sure that it already happens. I have still concerns about professional traders, because still there are some additional risks associated with mobile trading. But for retail segment, it's I don't have specific numbers, but volumes from mobile is more than 10%. So over the last 5 years, it's increased maybe 10 times.
Do we have any active mobile traders in the audience? Are people using mobiles? Any show of hands? Anybody using mobile? Okay, we've got one. Yeah. 2 here, 3, 4, 5. Okay, excellent. Let's get some statistics. How many people are actually using mobiles? Vinod, we'll start with you because I think you've got a bundle. How many downloads? How many volume? You've already spoken.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just split it geography-wise because it does greatly vary. We see a lot of growth. Maybe the established numbers are more in the West, but a lot of growth in Asia. So if you look at audiences in Singapore, for example, trading numbers and volumes have gone up close to 60% in the last 12 months, right? So that's a lot of growth. Obviously, a lot of this volume is coming through iPhone and Android. So it's easily, say, 60% to the iPhone, 30% to the Android. Maybe in India it's different. It's 60 to the, maybe 70% to Android, because iPhones aren't that prevalent in India. But in terms of growth rates, in most asset classes across the globe, trading volumes have grown between 50 to 60% on the mobile through 2012. So today we see on any given day close to $1 billion of mobile transactions happening, right? That's again global cross-asset. We see close to 100,000 people logging in every day. So that's our learning, that if you've got 10,000 traders on your platform, 10% of those will log in on any given day. That's the trend that we see. And the other very tangible trend that we see is we track information messages. So how many people got a chart or a quote or a watch list. So we track them as individual messages. And then we see how many of them result in transactions. So that's across active traders, inactive traders. In Forex, every 20 messages results in a transaction. In equities, every 100 to 120 messages results in a transaction. So without focusing on transactions, if you provide value to people on the mobile, if you provide them those information messages, a chart when he wants it, a quote when he wants it, his account information when he wants it, it'll automatically come down to him trading, him or her, sorry. So it's purely what volumes you see and what revenue you make is purely a factor of how much throughput goes through your mobile platform. That's global.
Stas, how's the mobile uptake been on your side?
Well, I just want to say a few words that on the early stages of mobile, introduction to the trading industry, people were using it just for the purpose to check the status of their account, right? People not trading; they were mostly checking what's my exposure right now, what's my floating P&L, and so on and so forth. A bit later, people when they started becoming comfortable with the mobile concept itself, the most usage of the mobile platform was closing the positions. In case something went wrong, people were using their mobile devices to close some risky transactions. What we see, the trend right now is, of course, people are starting actively trading on the mobile, which means that they're not only closing their trades, but they are entering the market from mobile devices. And that means that traders are comfortable with this sort of technology. And speaking about the volumes, well, based on our experience with our largest clients in FX CFD industry last year, in 2012, we've seen a growth, about from about 6 to 7% of volume in January, all the way to, you know, to 12, 13% by the end of the year. Another client of ours, one of the larger U.S. equities and options trading firms, they have smaller volumes on mobile, but that's because they're trading more sophisticated products and assets, and their desktop platform and web platforms are extremely popular. So a less percentage of volume they're getting, but it's still, you know, almost 10.
Adding to that, 2012 was quite a sad year for FX volumes overall. Rodolfo, did you see any uptake in mobile? Did we see this as an opportunity for this device?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as I said, my company is different in the sense that we launched the platform ourselves. I mean, we just decided to launch a platform. And we have a very, very, I mean, at least I think we have a very desktop application, very advanced, do multi-time frame, trading system, I mean, really advanced, but it was not taking off because, you know, there are already leaders in the market, so it's difficult to make people's watches change from one platform to the other. So what happened is when we launched the first iPhone, I was like looking at the number, and we just hit 500 downloads per day, just the first days, and I say, what is happening? I was really shocked. So in 24 months now, as I said, we have 234,000 downloads. We are actually getting 10,000 leads, SMS check every month. We get, this is also because we are on top of all the mobiles network, and we get 5-star as we won the best platform. What we have seen is that at the beginning people, you know, I really agree with what Vidal was saying before. We see a paradigm shift in a sense that what I see is the trend is that the desktop technology provider are doing a mobile application. We had a completely different approach. We did mobile. So when I saw what was happening, I think what will change, and I also agree with Chris, the new mobile will be something very, very, very powerful. We already have 100 indicators. We have 30 times of the trend line, GAN, Fibonacci, we store, and we have a cloud architecture on the back. So what you will see in the future is that you can actually have in the back trading systems that are running, and you have a display like Windows to Google. That's what we see. And from the fact that from iPhone, now we are in Samsung Galaxy 3, if you see, or the Galaxy Note, if you see what you can do on a space like this, it's really similar to the desktop. I finished saying that, for example, we have a desktop, we have an iPad application which start to really look like a desktop and will be transforming desktop, as you say. And we have a desktop application which, you know, I spent almost 10 years to develop, so I think it's better. But people say, why don't you give us the iPad version? We don't want these old things, we want new things. So the trend, for me, it's completely changing. So desktop will not be there anymore. It will be a blend between the two. Not to be mobile at the moment. It's not an option. On the volume side, we see that at the moment the volume is picking up, but not as much as it should, in a sense that still the professional traders are still on the desktop and they are switching. So for example, when we started, we were averaging, as I said, we propose, we are an IB, so we're not a broker, and this makes a little bit different, but we were average like 500,000 per clients per month. Now we are at 2 million. So we see the volume really increasing. And I think in the future, everything will pass through mobile because there will not be any difference between mobile and desktop. You will have the same user interface depending which device you're using.
Chris, what's been the popular regions for you? And where were you seeing most downloads and most usage for your platform?
Well, we are reasonably new, so as I mentioned, we don't have the market penetration as but currently we think there is about 20% of our flows going through the mobile platform. Yeah, just to expand on your earlier point, about how the transition is going between the desktop and the mobile platform. I think eventually there are a couple of criteria that the mobile platform is saying: how stable and robust it is, and what kind of tools that you're able to provide. As Stan was saying, originally a lot of people were just looking for live feeds and basic functionality of just closing the trade. But now with some of the advanced tools that are available on the operating system, I think the transition is going to move very fast in 2013-14 from a desktop to a tablet and smartphone platform.
I just want to add, because I actually did not answer the question, and I went back to the first question. But
everybody's doing that.
Yeah, I was, I'm jet lag, so I'm one step behind. The most download we have is for America, from America. Actually, 25% of our users are from America. But then, what is very interesting is Asia. So, for example, the second country we have downloads is Singapore. The third is Thailand. Then you have Malaysia, Japan, and all the South Korea. All the Asia parts are growing in number and are outgrowing the Europe. So first is US and second is Asia.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Dennis, would you like to add anything onto that about volumes and...
Volumes. I think that most volumes to mobile comes from Forex. As we provide multi-asset platform, they see that other asset classes not so confident yet in mobile, especially if we look in the United States stock market options. They are quite concerned about it, and it makes sense because it's not only advantages, but also it's an additional factor of risk, because we must understand that mobile is it's mobile phone. Its environment is different from desktop application. It can anytime ring. It can network cannot work. So even in South Korea, the best internet, the most advanced internet country, they are concerned about it. So volumes are goes, but goes not as one click. So, but Forex, because Forex is more, it's a little different, right? So I think Forex will be our locomotive in mobile.
Sure. Yeah, thanks. So mobiles, in essence, they give us advanced accessibility. We can trade on the go. What's the limitations? Does latency affect your order? We've got people who are scalping, people who are using high-frequency trading. Can we do this on the mobile? Vinod.
You can, but to be honest, if you're a professional trader and you're using those kind of techniques of high-frequency trading or algorithmic, you're best on your desktop. Let's be honest, right? So we can't tell mobile can do everything. For retail, honestly, latency is not an issue. In our perspective, we don't, because if you see the application streaming, not just us, but some of the other people here, the application stream is near desktop, right? But when it comes to institutional grade trading, it's not the same. Latency is an issue.
I just want to add, so if people are trading, what do we want people to trade on? Wi-Fi or a 3G, 4G network? And,
Wi-Fi is better than 3G.
What happens when the network breaks? Is there anything?
Okay. I'll just take it and we can continue with that.
Oh, well, in the sense I sort of disagree. But because we have a different approach. All the protocol we have done through the mobile is proprietary. So for example, we have high compression in the data. We are very, very fast. So we don't see too much difference between a desktop in terms of speed. I agree that the professional traders are not yet on the platform, even though they are monitoring what they are doing on the desktop, and they are getting more and more confidence on using the mobile platform. We don't see, I really don't see why in the future, actually I'm absolutely 100% certain that you will have scalper, a new type of scalper which will work with iPad. When I was working in stocks almost 8 years ago in Italy. You know, the company is based in Bulgaria, but I'm Italian. We had people which like were scalping with the mouse, and we had these people which you see that they were like clicking with the mouse at 100 times per hour. And I see that the iPad, as it works, you will have scalper that will go like this, you know, trying to change, and you will have a new type of trader which will use the hand instead of the the mouse. So no, we are thinking that there is the traders are actually getting better in using the mobile, because at the beginning it looked like you know, a toy. As Trade Interceptor, you know, I'm not trying to push my platform, but we went a step further, and we show that actually mobile can be the new things. So I think it's not an issue, latency. That's my point. And between 3G and Wi-Fi, there is a problem on 3G, because, for example, we have a constant connection in order to be fast. So when you passing from 3G to another network, sometimes you lose the connection, and there's nothing you can do. And people don't understand it. I mean, they think you're always coverage, but that's not the reality. So definitely Wi-Fi is better. We were working on GPRS. I mean, we are so small that we were fast on GPRS, but the problem is that when you're passing from a mobile another, the application disconnects unless you are in pool, which is different. But if you have a constant streaming like us, and people say, whoa, what is happening? And they blame you instead of the 3G. So it's hard to explain, you know, it's not our fault. So there's still some problem.
I mean, that's exactly the point. You see, we work with one certain firm whose promoter is supposed to be, I'm not sure if he's come, but they're a prop trading firm who are going retail, right? When we spoke of latency, they co-locate their servers, they look at leased lines across the continents. We were talking to them about 200, 300 milliseconds of latency, and they say that we choose our service providers for 80, 90 seconds of, you know, latency. So some of the institutional traders, the prop trading firms and all of that need such low latency that no matter what you do on the mobile side, the phone to the network, you know, that unfortunately we are not in a position to control. So that is where you have a problem. But to his point, I totally agree. I don't think it's too far away when a scalper would be trading off of an iPad.
Stas, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I would like to add a few words here. Right. Speaking in technical terms, you know, it's 3G or Wi-Fi. It's you know, it's the operating system that provides you this access to the network, right? And you create a trading application. You talk to the operating system, and you can do anything. You know, you have a connection, or you don't have it. There is a timeout, and so on. When you're, you know, driving in the Alps on your GPS, and you go to the tunnel, your GPS says that your connection is lost, but you continue going because there is nowhere to turn left or right. Well, basically, it's in the trading app. If you lost your connection, you're in an elevator, for example, or somewhere in the basement. Well, don't blame the trading platform. Right. Another point that I wanted to make, we've touched, you know, the difference between retail traders, you know, the small traders and professional traders. We have seen professional traders that fall in love with their iPad in this little example, that they completely switch their trading. Very high net worth individuals that have completely switched their trading habits from desktop and web to iPad, just because they iPad is with them. It's just a matter of creating a really good and usable platform, or usability, basically. Accessibility is the advantage, but usability is a requirement for a mobile platform. If it's usable and it's native, which means that you create a platform specifically for this device. It knows your screen resolution. It knows, you know, the processor characteristics and everything like this. You utilize the full real estate, and you use everything that the operating system provides you. You can create state-of-the-art applications, and our clients have seen huge volumes from several high net worth individuals from their iOS devices.
Right. That leads us on to our next question about functionality and usability. You know, what's more important? Do you need to have a whole long list of functions that, we can do this, that, and the other? Or, does it need to be as simple as something like Angry Birds and Subway Surfers, very easy to use, what people are used to? Dennis?
Yes, it's a very good question. Right now, devices allows us to create very good functionality. Processors are quite good, resolutions already increased, but very critical to understand that if we just put, for example, desktop application to mobile, it will be, nobody use it. We have example that clients use a remote connection to their desktop and basically have all functions in their phone. But they don't use it because it doesn't, it's not useful for them. So in mobile, the very critical and very, the big challenge, the biggest challenge I would say, is to combine these two different things, and it's usually compromise, usability and functionality. And work of designers and usabilists in this area is much more important than in desktop devices. So basically, it's my position is that we should add as more functions as possible from desktop device, but it should be useful, because otherwise nobody will use it. We need just because we need to think about how to increase the volumes. In this case, we need to have very good usability. So here, question is, and this is the most important, I would say, in development of its big device. It's not easy to create good, functional and useful interface for mobiles. It should be good synergy between usabilists, programmers, analytics, all departments, and but I think there are some good applications already which have this good balance. It's very important. Thank you.
Rodolfo, would you like to add something on that?
I fully agree in the sense that, and I think we have done that, the mobile, it's, you have less space, so it should be very user-friendly, but in the same time it should be very powerful. And actually it's a different type of approach, because when you're clicking, for example, we click and a chart appears, you zoom with the fingers, you attach indicators. So for example, now we have already 100 indicator, we can have more than 4 screens together. We save templates, we save trend lines. For now we have an indicator that you can put one to another. So what you can do now with the desktop, and especially with the iPad, it's very similar to with the mobile, what you do with the desktop. The fact that the mobile is much more or less scaling for people. It's easier. I mean, the buy and sell bottom are all there. So it needs to be simple, it needs to be very, very powerful. What we see as a trend, for example, now there is a cross-platform usage. I mean, somebody has an iPhone, but that then has a Samsung Galaxy 2 or has an Android pad on an iPad, and what they are asking us, which we are actually, we have the means to do that, and we're going to release it, is I want to draw a trend line. I want the trend line to open up when I go to my Samsung Galaxy 2 or 3, and I want to see the same on the iPad. So for me, the idea is that mobile, it's much user-friendly, because the user interface is more intuitive than the desktop. People are getting it much faster how to put, for example, a quote to retrieve a graph, to retrieve historical data. But the challenge is how powerful it will be in the future in order to get the high-frequency trader, which are actually the one which makes volume. On the other hand, the mobile, for me, is the perfect approach for the newcomers, people which does know nothing about forex trading, and in 1 hour they can start buy and sell. And this is not so easy on the desktop. I think one of the reasons, actually, there are 2 reasons why MetaTrader became so popular, which is unbelievable user-friendly from the beginning, and second, very powerful on the back in order to get trading system. The same approach should be done on mobile.
Perfect. We're going to go a little bit technical for a couple of minutes. We got HTML5 coming out in all numbers, and we've got native apps. What's going to work?
Is that for me?
Whoever's going to take
I have
it first.
ideas.
Stas.
Well, I've already mentioned that, according to our opinion, if you need a really cool and attractive and usable trading application, it has to be native. Native means that it has to be native. That's one point, and it has to be one application for the smartphone and another different application for the tablet device. And only in this case, people that will be using this application will really love it. People do fall in love in the software and in the gadgets that they're using. We all know that, but when they use your trading application, they compare it to other applications that are installed on the very same device. And we know that the gaming industry and other industries are creating very good software that becomes very attractive. So when your clients switch to the trading application, it still has to look cool. It shouldn't be just a black screen with buy and sell buttons, even though that's the only point really. You want the client to trade, but so our point of view is HTML5 is a great technology, and we know that companies are trying to save actually their development costs on creating an HTML5 interface that will work both in the web browser and in the mobile. It's a pretty complicated work, but the technology, according to our opinions, is just not there yet. So you want a great app, it has to be native.
I agree. I think the coolness, if you do it with HTML5, you lose the coolness on the mobile device. The trick is you lose a lot of the features that you can use on a native, using a native code on the mobile platform, because you probably cannot do all the sophisticated touch features that is available on the native code. So either way, you can develop the code for one code set at the back end, but the way to deliver a product is to use the native presentation layer on the mobile device.
Sure. So I asked the question.
Edel, one more comment.
Go on,
I'm sorry.
Just a minute.
Another really small comment. Obviously, when the application is native, you're using the full power of the distribution channel that vendors provide you. It's either Google Play or Apple's App Store. It's easy for people to download your application. They're immediately notified if there is an update. They can preview it in the App Store or Google Play. So if you do the HTML5, you're missing that.
Perfect. Yeah. So I asked a question: how many people are trading on mobile? After listening to this topic, is anyone going to start trading mobile? Any hands? Good. We've got 1, 2. Good. You've done a good job, fellas. Now let's take some questions from the audience. Anyone have any questions? Any questions?
And everything
guys?
was clear.
Anything?
That good.
Who wants to launch a new mobile package? Yes, we've got a question there. Mike's just coming for you, sir. If you could say your name and...
Hello. Sorry, my name is Ben Bascom. You were saying that simplicity is key to trading on the mobile, yet you went for an app over HTML5. I'm just unsure why you would want to say simplicity and then move away from HTML5.
Very good question. The question is, if we're talking about simplicity, why are we going away from HTML5? Is that right? Yeah.
Well,
No, I have one perspective. See, the problem with HTML5, I'm talking from a perspective wherein we've actually invested in HTML5 and native apps, so I'm not predisposed to be partial. Now, HTML5 is just a standard, right? It's a spec. It does not uniformly apply to every single device out in the market. So there is immense complexity, I think, as Stan's mentioned, in implementing HTML5 solutions. The other thing is, and very rightly as he pointed out, even a simple application needs to work with the slickness, for want of a better word, of a native application. So when somebody plays with a gaming application or something and then comes to an HTML5 experience which is not as slick, the transitions are, we have some HTML5 apps I can show you, which we've done, and compare it with the native applications. Some of the transitioning and some of the effects are lost in the present version of HTML5. In the future, most definitely yes, but at this point of time, it just won't be as slick. So you'll find your customers benchmarking your HTML5 app against something that's native, and say that the experience just doesn't match up. That's the only reason.
Dennis.
Yes, I think that HTML5 is not so bad. Basically, we started from HTML5 and discovered that it's the biggest advantage that cost of development is much cheaper, and it works on all devices. But last news from Facebook shows us that they don't right now go to HTML5, and the market goes also right now to native development. But I think that in 1 or 2 years, probably HTML5 can be the good option. If the speed will be better, the integration with native controls and APIs with mobiles will be richer. So I want HTML5 to succeed really, because it will makes us our job easier. So if additional fonts will come with new operation systems, it will be terrible to support all this native development. So for me, I would like HTML5. And I think that everybody agree with this, because we need
I agree in the sense that, well, there are advantages and disadvantages. It's very easy to understand. The native code, you have to, at this moment, to support 2 platforms. One is Objective-C, which is iPhone. The other is Java, which is Android. So it's not so big. Now, the third one will be Windows 8. So you have to maintain 3 different sets of code. Simplicity does not mean you're not powerful. So at the moment, native apps are much better than HTML5. But what happened in the past, when we had the browser, it was difficult to, for example, send real push to browser. Then you had JavaScript on the back, and then you develop. So in the future, I think HTML5 will be much better and will be developing. You have again 2 distribution problems, which the apps. You're going through a store and you're going through a vendor. So if you get a good position in the store, this will pay off, because you don't need to spend millions of dollars on marketing because you're already good positioned. With HTML5, you have to redo everything again and use spend banner to promote yourself. On the other hand, if you're selling services, every time you go to the store, you pay 30% to Android, you pay 30% to iTunes. So it's, it's of 5 days ago that Amazon is releasing HTML5 app to download music. So basically, you are bypassing the store. Which one is best? It's difficult to
Sorry to cut you off, Rodolfo.
But,
Sorry to cut you off, but we're coming up to the close now. So let's have a closing comment from each panelist here. Let's start off with you, Chris. Why is mobile the future?
Well, let me just start off by saying, we could have a great mobile app, but at the end of the day, it's the back end. You can, execution is the key. So whether we have all the features, functions, at the end of the day, when you tap something on your mobile device, you need to have a robust, stable back end, which we are very proud of, and we think we have the best back end that can execute and operate your trade flows. Whether it's scalping or toxic trades, we also have a great risk management tool that operates at the back end that can manage the things. So the key thing is, on the mobile device, from our perspective, you need to provide the trader 2 things: manage their trade flows and mitigate the risk. So you could have a myriad and hundreds of indicators and all the fancy functions, but from our perspective, you need to provide those 2 basic functionality with the tools, for the mobile platform.
We're down to 30 seconds each. Dennis, 30 seconds.
Yeah. One important function, which I also believe is very important for mobile, and it will increase volumes even more. It's algorithmic trading on mobile devices. And very few, I didn't see any good application yet, frankly. But this function will allow traders to control their automatic trading from anywhere. And I think forums will be
auto trading on
yeah.
mobiles, the key. We'll speak to Dennis in more detail. Stas.
There was a recent discussion on Forex magnets. It wasn't really a discussion, there was a question. How soon are we going to see a pure mobile broker? Well, I think it's going to be happening sometime very soon, because especially the tablet devices are becoming our everyday companions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen this year. And I'll just want to get back to the app has to be native, and if you want to see the full power of it, I'd like to invite you to our booth. Just come on over and check it out. Thank you.
So the key point there is the future is a pure mobile-only broker. Rodolfo, what have you got to say?
Well, I have a vision that mobile is going to be completely different. I see in the future that we will have the tablet like you see in the film Matrix, which actually have no backend. So the mobile is becoming desktop, and so we don't know what we're going to get in 10 years, but in the last 4 years, when you see a Samsung Galaxy 3, now we're talking about iPad, so you have to be in mobile because there's going to not be a difference between computer and mobile. You have a screen, you go home and you take your screen, and so that's the future for me.
The 6th time you mentioned Samsung, what's the commission you're on?
Sorry? No, I'm an iPad, I'm a Steve Jobs
Sure
fan,
you are.
but
Thanks.
I'm impressed how somebody can arrive. The fact that there is a 4:8 screen and it's so light changed completely the game. So this proves also that you always need to be on the edge. I mean, if you're not on the edge, you can lose it in a second. That's why I'm saying always Samsung Galaxy, because it's the best now at the moment for displaying.
We'll take it as that. Vinod.
I have an iPhone.
Vinod.
So, final comment, so I'll be a little dramatic. If mobile
10,
is the
9,
future,
8. Go on. Okay.
it's already here, right? So it's not something 2-3 years down the line, it's already here. We have somebody attending this event who's launching a brokerage with no network offices, no sales agents, no franchises, nothing. It's going to be purely mobile. So I actually know somebody in this audience is launching a mobile and web-only broker. So it's here, and hopefully all of you would jump onto the bandwagon.
All will be revealed shortly. Well, thank you very much. A big round of applause for the panelists.
Thank you.
For the audience as well, you've been great. Thank you for your support. A lot of these guys